I grew up being part of something I thought was earth-moving. We were giving people hope for a better future beyond their present sufferings. If only they could see the impact of Jehovah's Word and that this current world is only temporary, and they could have the hope of living forever on a paradise earth. My grandparents would come in contact with and join the organization of Jehovah's Witnesses in the late 1940s and the better part of the 1950s. They vested their lives in an organization they believed possessed the truth. Now my grandparents have all passed away. Now only have my mother and an uncle on my father's side and his family, who are still active Jehovah's Witnesses. It is now my belief that my grandparents were ultimately cheated, and there was so much they lost. In this autobiography, I reflect on my family's experience and how I came to be where I am today. I had debated telling my story in personal clips on YouTube, but realized that there was too much information I wanted to cover. For that matter, I have decided to share my story as a narration to scenes from the Society's literature, natural landscapes, and pictures from my own time as a Jehovah's Witness, and now as a non-witness. I've also considered very carefully how much information I would disclose, with reference to persons, names, and geographic locations. Many people I have known I will refer to on a first-name basis and nothing more. Their stories form the substance of who they were when I knew them. Those whom are now deceased I refer to by their full names, as they are now beyond the reach of the organization in death, and their significant others are now very old or potentially deceased. I will refer to my family members and those closely tied to my family as Mom, Dad, or my mom's best friend, etc. As members of the XJW community, I see all of us being in an intermediate dimension of reality, between the world of mankind and the bubble of the organization, peering back into that bubble and reflecting on where we have been and where we are today. Many of us are actively resisting the workings of what goes on in that bubble, especially by sharing our stories and protesting the policies of a corporate cult that is only concerned about numbers and converting people into that bubble. It is my hope that my own story will help and assist others who have left the organization or are seriously contemplating leaving. All the best to a new life where we are free to make our own choices, without being tethered to an organization that autocratically monitors what its members say, do, think, or what information they access.